So a video idea I've had for a while is to teach the Moeller method instead as a series of 3 notes. So instead of just teaching it that way, just triplet, 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 as it's almost exclusively taught. Another way you see it taught, but not as often. I think anytime it's taught, it's like an addendum to this, is doing it just as eighth notes. So doing that, getting that whip mechanic or whip motion down as eighth notes instead of triplets like that. But as helpful as that is to teach it that way, and as fundamental to the technique as the triplet-based exercise is, I think drummers who teach it that way exclusively are leaving out that other way of playing it, and that is as eighth notes. Because it's fantastic to learn it like this. But what if you're in the situation where that's how you've practiced it exclusively, and you find yourself in the situation where you need to play eighth notes? You're going to be really caught off guard because you've spent so much time, and it was taught to you as triplet-based, and that's it. So recently I was thinking about what's a good exercise where you can combine the triplet and the eighth note exercises into one. You could combine this and that. So one way I think you can do it is to the tune of Wipeout. Probably all drummers know how to play Wipeout, but probably haven't used it as an exercise for the Moeller technique. That's one way to do it. That's not what I wanted to talk about mainly here. I just wanted to touch on that you could use that as a Moeller exercise. It could be really helpful. What I wanted to discuss more here was the Mission Impossible theme as an exercise for Moeller technique, and in the way that you play it as triplets, and how there are eighth notes in it. So, Mission Impossible theme, you probably know it. Bump, 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 bump. So, that's in 5, which not entirely relevant strictly for exercise purposes, though it's helpful to know that as a part of the song itself. But doing that syncopation, that you can do that as a Moeller exercise like this. Okay, hitting those accents, because you're getting both the triplet-based part of the technique. You're also getting those eighth notes. Okay, so you can do this, but at first I wanted to point out you can do it as an exercise to work on your singles. You can do it to work on your flams. What's another way? I'm sure you can come up with as many variations as you want for the exercise, but I guess doing more of a flat flam, working on both hands sort of evenly, like that. But I think this little Mission Impossible theme, that triplet, triplet, eighth note, triplet, triplet, eighth note, that's a really good way of combining both learning the Moeller technique as a triplet-based, again, like I said, as it's almost exclusively taught, and it combines Moeller technique as an exercise to also do in a way of also playing eighth notes, those accented eighth notes. Okay. It's also good, of course, to start out at slower tempos if you're really learning this and you're really trying to get that mechanic, that wave-like motion. But after, I don't know, at a certain speed it becomes less of a wave and more of like a snap motion. So if you're just starting out playing it, you might do it at something like that tempo. But as you pick up the pace a little bit, you'll find that it's more of a snap. Okay, so this video went far longer than intended, a little over 5 minutes here. But use this exercise, use that Mission Impossible theme. Dun, 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 dun. And doing that just there reminded me of the third way I was thinking about you could work on it. Doing the triplets on one hand and the eighth notes on the other. It's a really good exercise. You're working on your mind too. You don't want it's going to throw you off there. Okay, so really do this in as many ways as you can, with as many variations as possible. Just get really creative with it. I think it's just a really helpful way to learn the Moeller technique and build your skills on that front. So thanks.